finally saw the movie Bottoms, even though it was Wreck-It Ralph. It was recommended to me months ago. So I decided I want to start doing more movie reviews because I do a lot of writing in my spare time because that's what I want to do as like a career on top of making content. So I thought two birds, one stone. I went into the movie knowing the overall plot, and it starts off with this kind of like 2000s pop rocket hype style music as they show a room, and one of the girls is giving a speech about how they've looked terrible all year. As this is happening, they're doing quick shots of a room, and the second shot of the movie hits me like a truck because it's an anime postcard that looks kind of AI generated, but that's a different video, and a poster of sort of a Japanese shrine. And as someone who has always been into anime, especially back in high school, and was also an ugly duck back in high school who didn't get laid, I don't appreciate this bullshit. I just came here to have a good time. I didn't want to be called out. I think this movie is a cool switch up of the 80s trope of cis straight male high schoolers trying to get laid, but flipping that and making it dog shit by making it two queer women trying to get some coochie cat. This movie is absolutely hilarious. The girls are lamenting how hard it is to get laid, and the movie early on stresses that it isn't because of any inherent bigotry from the school's populace. It's that these two girls are just really fucking not cool and socially awkward.
I love what you're doing with the school play. Thanks, bitch.
Which for a moment I just want to say that not everyone who watches anime is a socially awkward nerd who can't get laid. I just so happen to be one, but I've met lots of people who aren't. Josie, whose character is played by Ayo, has a crush on Isabel, who is the star of the football team's girlfriend. And PJ, Josie's friend, has a crush on Isabel's friend, whose name I can't really remember. How socially awkward they are is kind of cartoonish. I have a lot of social anxiety myself, but it's definitely not this bad. I can't tell if it's for comedic purposes or if there's people out here who are truly this painfully awkward. Either way, I'm glad I'm not this bad. So as I watch the movie, I take notes or make bullet points, and they are definitely going to need a game time miracle if they want to get by the end of this movie. Believe me, I know it doesn't work this way, and their sexualities are completely valid, but they're so awkward several times so far during this movie, I've had to pause it and just been like, oof. Maybe they should try dudes, like just to lose their virginity and get it over with. Download Tinder, find some dumb straight dude who wants to see a boob just as desperately as you two do, and just kind of get it done. And hey, that advice goes to straight guys too. You can't find a girl who wants to tongue wrestle? There's gay guys that specifically have a thing for straight men. Sexuality is a lot more fluid than people think. Jokes aside, I feel so bad for them, I want to give them a hug. They remind me a lot of myself, but like cartoonishly worse. They're not any more awkward than any guy that age. I definitely was pretty bad, but I think it's more cause the main characters are women. As a guy, you're kind of socialized into thinking dating is easy for women, and in some ways it can be easier for some people, but it can be easy for men as well. And even for women, it's quote unquote easy for. That is a double-edged sword because you don't know who actually wants to get to know you as a human being and who is just trying to sleep with you. It's all kind of luck-based when it comes to social interactions, but seeing girls be just as awkward and cringy as guys is a fun change of pace in the movie. It really has me rooting for them.
I'm Josie, by the way. Good evening.
Oh my lord, I take it back. Please, for the love of God, someone give them some pity coochie. Hold their hand. Something, please. So in order to get laid, PJ talks Josie into starting a self-defense club, which would be a little weird, but there's guys who pretend to be feminists to get laid, so I say we let them do their thing.
Welcome to our fucking fight club.
Also, let me tell you, Marshawn Lynch fucking carries in this movie. He doesn't show up a whole lot, but every time he does, it's the shit. He needs to be in more movies.
The Holocaust. It happened.
So I'm only 20 minutes into the movie, and Josie just awkwardly tried talking to Isabel again, and it just occurred to me, do they even know if their crushes are queer? Like, Isabel is dating a quarterback.
Isabel, let's go.
And sure, she could be bi. There's no bi erasure in this house. But they're just kind of guessing that if they become cool enough, they'll get laid. Which is the plot of like thousands of movies since the 80s. But that only really works because the main characters were typically men chasing the hot popular girl who was dating the jock guy. They're basically just hoping being popular will make people change their sexuality. which works for Hosier, so fuck it, we ball. Also, I hate PJ's character. I think because her character is the most incel-y, she is really determined to go through with this Fight Club thing and just kind of dragging Josie along for the ride with the intent of growing the club, but she keeps shitting on the current club members.
Again, they're all sixes at best.
Which isn't bad. A 6 means cute, or am I wrong? Also, maybe let's humble ourselves a little bit, young incel, because so far the 6s who join your club are the only other queer-coded people I've seen in your school. And you're just hoping that the really hot girl you like is gay. Also, that's not to say people aren't allowed to have standards, but recognize you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and that's fine. But don't shit on people, especially when you're a socially awkward nerd who can't get laid. Again, humble yourself. Be a good person. I don't know why, but I have this condition. It's undiagnosed, but it's very real, and I know it to be real. The syndrome where whenever white people do cringy shit, it physically hurts me. Like I take psychic damage. And it's only white people, cause Josie will say something awkward and I'll feel nothing. But as soon as PJ does anything.
So, Brit, can I call you Brit?
I'd prefer if you just called me my name.
Brittany.
I'm like, no. And years are taken off of my life. It's actually why I can't watch The Office. Okay, not to turn this into a Marshawn Lynch fan video, but he really does carry in every scene he's in.
Hey, I don't know about this shit.
Dude is naturally silly as fuck. I'd watch an entire movie of Marshawn Lynch doing improv for 2 hours. They're really whooping each other's ass in this movie, which is impressive. I've never wanted to date someone so bad I would get punched in the mouth for them. That's wild, but do your thing. So there's this montage of the girls in the club feeling more and more confident by beating the dog shit out of each other. And there's a scene where PJ and Josie are fighting their crushes. And they're like rolling on the ground and they're bricked up, to say the least. And on a bit of a tangent, I feel like kind of a bad move. I don't know. Me personally, I wouldn't want during my developmental period while my brain was still marinating for arousal and getting punched in the face to have any sort of wires crossing. Like imagine you get into a fight and get punched in the face and you moan. It's a great way to end the fight, but you'd be labeled as a weirdo and you're already pretty low on the totem pole at school, you know? Anyway, I forgot my original point. Oh, right. There's a scene where they're giddy about getting punched in the face by their crushes, and it feels creepy, which reminds me of a conversation I was having with someone a while back in reference to the Harley Quinn show. If you don't know, at the beginning of the show, Ivy goes out of her way to try and be there for Harley, giving advice and emotional support when she needs it, and that's great, but it's all thrown out the window when you realize that Ivy goes to these great lengths so that she can be with Harley at some point, going as far as tricking Harley and saying that she is there for Harley because Harley was there for her at one point, and how the Joker is toxic and awful, which both of these things can be true, but the good intention behind your actions are negated when you are doing the right thing for the wrong reasons. Josie and PJ are doing something right. The girls at their school should have a way to defend themselves.
The only way that we can learn how to defend ourselves is by teaching each other.
Especially as it's mentioned that several girls have been harmed several times over the years.
I'm thinking of you. You are never gonna get assaulted on your birthday again.
But their intention is to hook up. And while doing underhanded shit to get laid isn't a new phenomenon, I am curious as queer representation becomes more and more commonplace in media, how it will address things like toxic queer relationship dynamics. One thing this movie does well, among many of course, is they will have really heavy topics broached. At one point during the movie, all the girls are sitting in a circle, and PJ asks, has any of the girls been assaulted? And then all of them raise their hand. This is kind of initially treated as a joke, or well, I took it as one with how bluntly she approaches such a sensitive subject, but after some thought, I think that's kind of the point, that the subject shouldn't be sensitive, especially not if all of the girls in the room raise their hand. And sure, you could say that this is just a movie, but from what I've read, that's pretty rooted in reality, unfortunately.
I'm going through a divorce. Whew, that shit felt good to say. Whew, I tell y'all, men need therapy.
And then at the end, Marshawn brings it back home, being funny as fuck. Fuck it, this is now a Marshawn Lynch fan account. After trauma dumping, Isabel sees Josie in a different light, and hey, maybe sexuality is a lot more fluid than we thought.
Sorry, I feel like I kind of killed the vibe.
So, throughout the movie so far, Josie and PJ have been telling everyone that they went to juvie, as to give, I guess, some sort of legitimacy to them starting a self-defense / fight club situation. Which, I mean, you could have just said you yourselves took self-defense classes, but sure, why not? But you can tell that Josie is really struggling with this because the other girls are really starting to bond and find a sense of community within the club, while Josie and PJ are in it for the coochie cat. So, Isabel finds out her jock boyfriend, whose name I forgot, Josh, Brian, I don't know. I make it a habit not to remember white men's names anyway. She found out that he is cheating on her again, apparently, after he cheated on her with her sister, which, damn.
That was one time with your sister. There's 4 times. No.
Anyway, he's cheated a bunch and is now sleeping with one of the girls' mom, which is a different kind of horrible. So, in response to the last straw, they decide to commit a itty bitty crime. But just as Josie and Isabel are about to have a soft girl boss moment, they blow up her ex's car. The group reconvenes and realizes that the club might be ending soon, and everyone is like, yay, I got what I needed from this, a confidence boost and a sense of community. PJ is like, hell no, I didn't get what I wanted from this. This club ain't ending.
Can everyone calm the fuck down, please? The club is not over.
Which causes an argument between her and Hazel. PJ says some fucked up shit about Hazel's mama.
You have no friends, and a skank is a mom. So...
Then after everyone leaves, PJ and Isabel's sidekick, whose name I refuse to remember, share a moment. So Isabel and Josie finally kissed. All it took was time, effort, lies, and arson. While Josie and Isabel upset God, PJ and Isabel's sidekick share a moment, a soft and tender one in which PJ finds out her crush is straight.
PJ, I'm straight.
Which, from what I've heard, is much more realistic for lesbians, and Josie kind of plot armored her way into getting laid, but whatever. The next day, at a pep rally, to prove a point, the jocks have Hazel fight one of the best fighters at school, which, what? There's plenty of professionally trained fighters that are women that would easily kick someone bigger than them's ass, regardless of gender. I don't really think this proves anything beyond, like, there needs to be weight classes in fighting, I guess? I don't know. After the fight, which in my humble opinion Hazel won, the black dude on the football team outs Josie and PJ to the entire school that they never went to juvie, which I feel like if all of y'all didn't grow up in the suburbs, you would be able to tell. But the damning part that comes out is that PJ and Josie actually started the club to get laid, while Isabel is sitting right next to Josie the day after they decided that they don't want to go to heaven any longer. Which, in all fairness, the black football dude is a sneaky, conniving weirdo, but PJ and Josie did start the club to get laid, so there really aren't any heroes in this story. And just as everything is getting tense and awkward and everyone has their attention on Josie and PJ, the dude fighting Hazel earlier kicks her in the face, which, not cool, bro. Which begs the question, is Marshawn Lynch the only teacher that works at this school? What the hell is happening right now?
Is that true?
The world comes crashing down and everyone from the club is like, what the fuck? PJ tries to talk her way out of it and Josie tries to throw PJ under the bus and says she was forced to, which...
Please, wait. PJ made me do this. I didn't want to. I would never want to.
...is a cowardly and shitty thing to do, cause at any point Josie, who is her own person, could have stopped and told everyone the truth. She didn't when she saw Isabel joining, she didn't admit to it in the diner when she was just about to, but instead told Isabel that her boyfriend was cheating on her, which is good and fair to do, but Josie is just as responsible for this as PJ, and Isabel rightly calls her pathetic for it.
You're pathetic, Josie.
As everyone leaves the two behind to sulk, Marshawn comes in like an angel of comedy and starts asking if the reason the girls lied to him was because he talked shit about Amelia Earhart.
Is this about the time I said Amelia Earhart was a fake hero?
Which I just want to take a moment to say, I'd watch clips of Marshawn Lynch just talking and pay full price for a ticket. The man has great comedic timing.
Oh, it's so hard to be a girl. We make less money. We have to lose our last name.
PJ and Josie take out their frustrations out on one another and play the blame game.
So all of the blame just goes on me then. None of this can be traced back to you.
And then somehow get onto the topic of how it's the other person's fault that they got there. But in the end, PJ didn't get laid, and Josie did because the girl PJ liked is straight, and Josie's like, no shit, she's straight.
Yeah, well, that's because Brittany's straight, so.
Yeah, no shit, she's straight.
Which made me pause the movie, because like, okay, if you knew, why didn't you say anything to your friend? Or are you just saying that after the fact? Because logically, Josie's crush had a boyfriend most of the movie, and PJ's crush didn't. And says her entire personality revolves around being around Isabel.
My identity is completely attached to hers, so I just kind of go wherever she goes.
Which I know is just satirizing the sidekick popular girl trope, but hear me out. If you were to look at those two girls on paper, there's nothing saying either is queer at all. But if you had to blindly pick, just blindly pick which girl might be, might be queer, I'd say it's the girl who isn't dating a cishet man right now is probably your better shot of maybe liking girls.
You're just mad because I did this. I got to be with Isabel on my own without you.
So Josie just kind of got plot armored and thinks she did any actual legwork getting laid. Okay, that's the end of my TED talk. Let's move on. After their argument, there's a montage, everyone's life post-realization that Josie and PJ did it all for the nookie. Josie is a social outcast again, which she was at the beginning of the movie, but at least she had PJ. Now she's alone and known as a creep who started a club to prey on vulnerable girls, which I kind of agree with. Like, before people were just being jerks to be jerks, now you kind of deserve to be ostracized, just like a little bit. And to anyone out there who is thinking of going through great lengths to lie and hook up with girls, try being normal first. Like, give that a shot. Josie went the entire movie treating Isabel like some unattainable prize that she could never get, and it wasn't until Josie started treating her like a normal human being with hopes, dreams, flaws, and insecurities did they actually start to become closer. Well, PJ and Josie fucked up so bad they made Marshawn Lynch a misogynist. Now I kind of hate him too. Head football dude asks Isabel back out and she says yes, which is wild to me because like he still cheated multiple times, and one of those times was with your sister. What is happening? God damn, look at him massacre my girl Hazel. Whew. Anyway, Josie and PJ make up because they find out the big rivalry game, the enemy team basically murders one of the home team players. And you might be wondering, do Josie and PJ make amends, sit down, and come up with an elaborate plan? No. Call the police? Nope. They decide to get the club back together to save the day, which I'm all for, in fact. I am a big proponent of forgiveness and people changing for the better. 100%. They all apologized and made up.
I'm sorry that I called your mom a skank.
Yay. But now call the police, please. Even better, that gay auntie Josie met earlier offered to give her a gun. Maybe go take her up on that.
If you don't want to borrow firearms, then why are you here?
I'm getting a little confused near the end here. They got everyone back together besides Isabel and her sidekick, which, yay, happy for them. But then they come up with a plan that Hazel should plant a bomb on a nearby tree as a distraction, which I'm no big city lawyer, but I'm pretty sure is a felony. But why are they also the only ones who think it's weird? Literally no one is on the other side of the field. It's like completely empty. There's no support or parents at this huge game. No one thinks that's weird. Okay, yeah, but also, where the fuck is Hazel getting all these supplies for bombs? Like, why are they readily available to her? And why is no one shocked, or better yet curious, why a white girl from an affluent family knows how to build makeshift explosives? The bomb doesn't go off, so they come up with plan B, and the B stands for bisexual, as they start asking the cheerleaders to make out while Josie finds a clue. None of the cheerleaders are obviously down to kiss each other upon request, so Hazel and PJ start going at it, which, I mean, technically kind of weird, because, I don't know, maybe I'm the weird one, but I don't see two women kissing in public and get distracted. I just go, oh, two people kissing? When will it be my turn, God? And I spiral into a dark depression at last week. So while PJ and Hazel sign away their tickets to heaven, a bunch of people have epiphanies while watching them kiss, which I guess there's worse times to self-actualize. And Josie discovers barrels of pineapple juice, and Jeff, whose name I finally just learned near the end of the movie, the star of the football team and Isabel's current ex-boyfriend, is allergic to pineapples. The game starts because two women kissing isn't really concerning enough to worry about, which makes me question their plan in the first place, because at least a bomb blowing up would make everyone evacuate. They figure out that the other team plans to water the field with pineapple juice during the game, and maybe kill Jeff, which I'm a bit apathetic towards, to be honest. The girls run onto the field and no one stops them, not a ref or anybody really, to protect Jeff. The enemy team comes on the field again again, even though they were already on the field playing, and Isabel and Sidekick show up because I guess they sense danger. The club proceeds to kick the absolute shit out of the enemy team and even murders a few of them, which is pretty cool to see, honestly. Jeff gets saved by Josie, then tries to kiss her, which, read the room, bro. She started a club to sleep with women. You play for the same team. So the whole school watches a bunch of girls basically murder some dudes, look on in confusion, and doesn't understand what's happening until the sprinklers turn on and Jeff's sidekick says it's pineapple juice.
It's pineapple juice!
Josie apologizes and Isabel explains she could have just talked to her like a person first, which gotta say I agree. They kiss, Marshawn Lynch is a feminist again, which yay, we stand an ally. Then that tree finally blows up, and credits. Honestly, love the movie. It was super fun, not serious, and I hope in none of this video or my commentary that I ever sound or make it seem like I am judging this on some scale as though it is some high art that should be judged and treated as such. It's fun, silly, and doesn't take itself very seriously. It does a good job of wrapping very serious discussion and a layer of jokes that make it easy to digest, which I think is the point of good satire. Here, take this social commentary wrapped in cheese, and it did that wonderfully. Honestly, 7 out of 10, 7.5 maybe. It's a pretty cool movie. I think you should check it out. Thanks for watching.